Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Halecko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we're continuing our West Wing watch and welcoming back The Good Place. Yay! Woo. Let's start with The West Wing, because it was a big episode. It followed through from the sort of, we know what Bartlett was saying, but CJ did not yet know what Bartlett was saying at the end of the previous episode. Mm-hmm. And this one, CJ is right in the mix as Chief of Staff. I very much enjoyed the WTF looks on the face of the press corps when Bartlett made that announcement. It's like, what do we do now? I guess we should clap and stand up? Okay. But the looks on their faces was more, this seems like a bad idea.
Yes.
So I was almost going to mention that last week, and then I remembered, no,
Didn't
it's
happen.
in this episode. But, come on, people. Don't leave her hanging.
Yeah. Well, I did enjoy that it was one of the female reporters who was like,
yes.
Wow, we should probably acknowledge this. And she was the one who started the applause. So
yes, we can express all our bafflement later, right now.
Let's
do the lady a solid and just pretend like you're supporting this. Don't leave her hanging up there. So, well, CJ. So I enjoyed this episode a whole lot. I think it felt really old school West Wing in that it's not particularly credible, but you like to see your team doing well. Mm-hmm. It's could she really have gotten up to speed in the course of one episode? Probably not. But, well, I guess it was that because I think the end of the first day she was in Leo's room saying, this isn't going to work. And I 100% agree with the West Wing Weekly people that it would have been better to have her either not speaking at all, and then you could just kind of think about what she was doing there, or just skip that scene. I think her saying that and then just going right back to suddenly getting her superpowers was weird. But, I thought that it was credible enough the way she kind of put things together and then was able to win at the end of that first conflict that I was perfectly willing to go with it. In old school West Wing, these guys are the best. They'll pull it through. They'll figure something out. They'll make it work. So go CJ. And I enjoyed the scene where both Josh and Toby appear to be resigning, as one might expect them to under the circumstances.
It really made total sense. And then having the president come in just completely ruined it. They could have kept her going a lot longer if he didn't. They really could have. And so happy. I mean, I knew what was going to happen this time, but I remember the first time being so happy when it was a joke. And, and that's something we've seen before. They've done this sort of trying to put something over on somebody. So that was a nice callback to past episodes. So, yay. The one thing I wondered most about this is, what the heck happened to Kate Harper? She, solved world peace, and then she disappeared. We have not seen her since. Right, because now Nancy McNally
is back with no comment about where Super Mideast Peace Girl went to. Last we saw her was when she was leaving Camp David. Maybe did her helicopter go astray? Has somebody checked?
Is she in the woods?
Is she laying on the floor of the forest with a heart attack? Maybe they found Leo, but they missed her. She's there someplace. She'll be back. She's a regular.
Yeah,
I think she's in the credits.
She is,
but
because Joshua Molina lost some time because of her. Exactly.
She's just AWOL, with nobody even name checking her as they sometimes do. I'll run it past Kate. Okay. So that was odd. But speaking of the credits, new face,
Jimmy Smits.
Yep. And complete credits. The credits serve as a spoiler for this episode.
They really do, because in the episode, it's just like what seems to be a fairly throwaway meeting between him and Josh.
Right.
But since he's in the credits, that's not the end of that story.
Well, also, since he's Jimmy Smits, you probably would have known it was not the end of that story.
Right.
I don't think he shows up for a one-episode cameo. Yeah. Although I guess Matthew Perry kind of came in. Well, no, he had like a couple of episode run, and then he came back later. But, yeah, so you kind of know that's going to go somewhere. But having him in the opening credits is a pretty big telegraph of, by the way, he's sticking around. Right. He's probably just not some guy who's quitting Congress and you're never going to hear from him again.
Yeah. And it's also totally spoiled on Wikipedia because I usually look at the Wikipedia summary, synopsis, but only after I watch the episode because of spoilers. But this one spoiled, what's going to happen with his character in the future.
Yeah.
So nice going, guys. Oh, well.
Yeah. Would you have kind of known it anyway, though? Just by the way Josh's story arc has been going?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But that's all right. Well, I mean, I knew that he was coming and I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, less said the better.
Exactly. Yeah, but we also get Kristen Chenoweth in this episode.
Yeah, not spoiled by the credits.
Not spoiled by the credits, and comes in, and I liked the connection that they made on the West Wing Weekly podcast. A little bit like Charlie when he first appeared, and he thought he was applying to be a messenger, and he ended up being, President Bartlett's right-hand man. And so I guess we're going to see something similar out of little tiny Kristen Chenoweth.
Yes. Yes. She's a lot of fun. But especially the cinematographer challenge of ever getting her and Allison Janney in the same shot. The walk and talks with the two of them would be a problem. I don't remember how I know there's comment made about it at some point. But fortunately, if CJ was still the
press secretary.
Was still the press secretary and would have to work with her closely. That would be a problem.
Well, and then there was the part where CJ said to Margaret that you're tall, and I find that reassuring.
Yes.
Such a great episode for Margaret, the whole thing.
It was. It was a great episode, Margaret episode, and also such a sad Carol episode, which they kind of mentioned in the podcast. But, because, they've been such a team, and she's, you're somebody's secretary, you go with them where they go, but in this case, CJ really needs Margaret. And so it's, so much unsaid in that scene, and, it tugged my heart. Carol, bye, Carol.
She brings Gail over, doesn't she?
Oh, yes.
She brings Gail the goldfish.
Yeah. So overwhelming. Oh my gosh. I mean, we always knew that was a ridiculous job that basically drove Leo to a heart attack, but just to get it fresh.
Yeah.
Wow. And the security detail coming to her house at before she's dressed in the morning, which we never ever saw in all the time that we saw Leo in his house, which really was just at the very beginning of the show. Where was Leo's security detail when he had a heart attack in the woods? If she's got people sticking to her that closely, shouldn't somebody have been following him?
I guess when they're at Camp David, they think the whole thing is secure, so they don't have to tail people so carefully.
I guess, but clearly not. Let's have some protocol for that from now on. If the guy is complaining about heartburn all weekend, possibly somebody should
leave him alone.
Keep a tracer on him.
If he had a security detail, which he must have, wouldn't they have noticed when it was time to leave and he wasn't there?
That he wasn't there. I mean, yes, that does seem like a basic. Does nobody have a checklist?
How many? Let's count heads, count somewhere off before we go anywhere.
Did Mr. McGarry decide to stay behind and vacation for a short while? We think he got another chopper and went before us. Wouldn't there be a record of that?
Well, I think they said they thought he went in a car, right?
Oh,
but obviously he wasn't driving himself.
Sloppy detail work from somebody there.
Come on.
Maybe that's why now after they had a meeting after the former chief of staff was dying in the forest alone, and they said the next chief of staff, you are going to cover her like crazy. Everywhere. You're going to be in her apartment, you're going to be in her building, you're going to be following her to the field with the cows, you're going to be all over her.
That's right.
Yikes. So that's quite the way to start it.
It was very exciting to see CJ, take it in stride and rise to the challenge, even though, of course, the first day it was, kind of a mess, but that is really to be expected, and not just for the first day, like the first month or something.
Yeah. Very, very satisfying to see her smack down Hutchinson. Yes. That was
and lovely. Also to consult with Margaret to find out if he was actually a jerk, and then be told yes.
Yes, they are going to be a nice team. Mm-hmm. That's for however long that lasts. I can't quite remember, but they go well together. Yes. Yay, Margaret. Mm-hmm. So that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV episodes we liked a lot, how did you like this Return to the Good Place? The Book of Doug's, coming after Janet's, man. It's good that it didn't come the week after, because it would be hard for anything to follow that.
Yes, that was a hard act.
Janet's was just a spectacular half hour of TV. This was okay.
It was fun.
Yet another start and finish of yet another place.
Right.
It's like they've burned through a lot of story here this season.
Yeah.
Of the Good Place people. We were on Earth for a while, then we were back, then we were in the Void, and now we're in heaven, and then we're going to the Pancake House.
Right, and at some point they were in wherever the accounting office was.
That's right.
I don't know if...
all over the place.
Yeah. So no, I enjoyed it. I thought it had some fun lines, and, the whole just goofiness of not knowing where they're going to turn and how they're going to get out of the particular scrape they're in right now. And Nicole Byer was very funny as Gwendolyn, the mail lady in the Good Place. I know how much you did not like Nailed It.
I liked that character better before I remembered where I had seen her before on the podcast. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's the Nailed It lady. And so now every time I hear Gwendolyn talking, it's with that voice.
But her voice is like that on... Even on the podcast, like that's just the way she talks.
It is, but it bugged me so bad on Nailed It. I dislike that show so much, though now I want to find the one where Jason Mantzoukas is on, because that could be really funny.
I want to watch that one too.
I can mute her.
It's in the holiday run that they've recently released. It's all
okay. I'm going to have to check that puppy out now that I got a smart TV, so now I can watch Netflix on my TV screen and not on my computer.
That's exciting.
When nobody else is in the living room.
Right.
Or using Netflix, I can do that. But.
Right. Some caveats, but that's okay.
Yes. But it's fun. Anyway, so but it was interesting, how this is their conception of the Good Place. Mm-hmm. And...
or it's sort of like an anteroom.
A way station, yes.
Good Place. It's not.
The bit about it smelling like your favorite smell, that was a gift that kept on giving. Yeah. That was fun. All the way to Mike O'Malley saying, it smells like frogs. Because he's going to say that and you're just waiting.
Right.
That was lovely. Mm-hmm. But I remember them mentioning the International Hole of Pancakes on the train when they were going to the headquarters that time. Mm-hmm. So that was a nice callback. Yes. I guess they filed that in there, mention this again file. And
right, or we might need this later.
Right, you're right. So when he said that, it was like, oh, that's not a good place. Even before he told Jason, it was not a good place.
Right, Jason was getting excited for a little short stack or whatever he was going to get, but no, this is not what you're doing.
There was a lot of nice character stuff going on here also, in addition to the whole big plot thing with, Eleanor and Chidi. Chidi being just remarkably functional.
I know.
I was wondering if they were going to say something about the Good Place changing you in some way, because Tahani was getting really emotional and Chidi was just Mr. Competent Boyfriend.
I know.
Not fearful or indecisive one single bit. So that was kind of weird. I expected there to be an explanation for that. Maybe there will be eventually, but...
Right, because Eleanor was responding in the way that she would have on Earth or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Chidi was like a different person.
Yeah,
well, a different version of himself, I will say.
Yeah. an appealing one.
Yeah.
One who can make a decision.
Very, very sweet, the way
Yeah.
he was trying to help her and comfort her in her crisis that she was having.
Yeah. Good tip for escape rooms there, to just start breaking things and then they kick you out. But
that's what George Foreman did when he was on. when he had that show with like William Shatner and Terry Bradshaw where they traveled around and they went to an escape room, and that's what he did. He just broke down the door.
Pro tip. And poor Tahani trying to figure out what the right thing was to do to get Janet and Jason back together, and then just sort of screwing it up every time. And then that going into the figuring out what was wrong with the point system.
Figure it out, right?
Yes.
And
that was
and
fun.
He's like, he has this big eureka moment, and then she's like, well, we didn't cover my thing. She's just like quietly, oh, well, okay.
So much less self-assured this. So she was like different too. Mm-hmm. They were all a little bit different in The Good Place, I thought.
Maybe
even Eleanor was, a lot of it was her normal stuff, but she was definitely more vulnerable.
Yes.
So I wonder what's up with that. I expect an explanation somewhere down the line. But, great Ted Danson episode.
Yes.
He was, and I love that scene where the guy just comes up and starts complimenting him.
Yeah. It's like, I thought this would be annoying. It's really not.
Just his variety of facial expressions when that was going on was delightful. He is so great. Where do you get one of those? I want somebody following me around like that. Not all the time, but every now and then. Kind of like a Janet. You snap your fingers, it pops up, it says a few nice things, and disappears.
Just gives you that little hit of confidence that you might need, or, cheering up, whatever it is, and then they can move on.
That's right. But the committee was kind of classic. That was kind of an easy joke, but, that forming the committee is going to take 400 years, and then the committee investigating itself for any conflicts of interest would be 1,000 years.
And he didn't, he said here without filing a memo or whatever he had to do. Right. So it's like, I resign.
Yeah. Cheap
stuff.
laughs, but laughs nonetheless. Yes. But, that was an interesting little sojourn into part of The Good Place, and now we're leaving again. And 2 more episodes after this?
I believe so, yes, for this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's coming back next year, so they have to feverishly think, where else is there to go? What else is there to do? We've burned up so many plot possibilities.
Right.
They're just going to reset it all to the beginning. just repeat season 1.
That would be okay with me. I'd watch it again.
Yeah. When I got my smart TV and was looking for things to watch, I watched an episode of the first episode of The Good Place on Netflix. It was delightful.
Yay.
So, never can go back not knowing what I know now, though.
That's true.
Don't have that reset button. Yeah. But one day, that will be possible, I bet. Technologically, they will be able to wipe the memories so you can enjoy something again as though it was the first time.
Of the spotless mind to be applied judiciously.
Just the memories of TV shows. Oops, I saw a spoiler. Erase that from my brain, please. Well, next week we will be watching the next Good Place episode, which is called, unpromisingly, I think, Chidi Sees the Time-Knife. Not too snappy. And we will also see the West Wing episode, The Hubbert Peak. Also a little bit unappealing. But the episodes themselves, I'm sure, will be wonderful. Yes. And that will be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.